Morning, guys. Welcome back. And we are in the 9th session, right? Is it? So this is the batch tracker, guys. So till now we are done with 9 hours almost. Excluding demo, it's 8 hours, isn't it? So we started with SDLC testing lifecycle, functional versus non-functional testing, and we are done with all these basic concepts. Still, we have few more, right? So yesterday I have explained 2-tier versus 3-tier architecture and HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and developer tools. We had a quick intro about developer tools. We'll have a separate session on developer tools. We'll have 2 to 3 sessions on developer tools actually going forward. Now, today's topic is performance testing lifecycle, right? So before starting that performance testing lifecycle, so I'd like to have some quick assessment, guys. So what is a thick client application? Bhavana, what is a thick client application?
Sir, thick line means we are the application which we are fetching from desktop. That is called thick line because it occupies some computer memory. That's why it's called as a thick line application.
Right. So the applications which we install on our local machine. Okay. The applications which we install on our local machine, right? Those are called as thick client applications. And what are I'll ask someone else. Like thin client applications.
Thin line means we can the application which we are fetching from the mobile.
Wait. I asked Lakshmi. Please wait.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Lakshmi. What are thin client applications?
Thin client application means we are fetching from browser. There is no occupying any memory. So directly through the browser we
don't occupy memory. Wait.
No,
Suppose you are accessing any application from a browser, don't they occupy memory and CPU?
Yeah, they're not occupying anything memory.
No, they will occupy. Okay, let me show you. So that's why I asked. That's why I asked this to assess your understanding. So let's say, for example, you see here, I am seeing Google Chrome here, and see, how many tabs are open here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you see all those tabs. See, observe here under Google Chrome, you see, how many how many processes are running. See here under Google Chrome process, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Isn't it? It is showing some instances running, right? Yes or no? So, and each tab, see, it takes some CPU and memory. That is not the difference that I have explained you. So if it is a desktop application, it will consume more CPU and more memory and disk space. Okay. They will consume more than browser-based applications. That's why those are called as thick client applications. Understood or no? It doesn't mean that browser-based applications will not consume CPU and memory. No, I didn't say that. Guys, everyone understood that? Guys, speak out, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So once we start the tool from next week, everyone please be prepared to turn on your camera. Because I should know, whether you are in front of your system or, you are paying attention or not. Okay. So please be prepared for that. And understood, guys. So see, otherwise, this is what happens. I explain something and you get something, you understand something, right? So browser, it doesn't mean that when I say thin client applications, it doesn't mean that they don't occupy CPU and memory. They will occupy CPU and memory. Let me show you. Let me open an Edge browser, right? And let me open some. Okay, first let me show you that once I open Edge browser, observe here, the Edge process is running over here, right? Why do we have multiple tabs open? No, something wrong. Okay, let me open Firefox browser. Otherwise, okay. Let all these close. Some issue with Edge browser. It should not happen like that. Those many instances should not be open. Wait, let me close this task now. And let me open Firefox browser. I have opened one instance of Firefox, right? So it will be, say, whenever any program or any software is started or running, right? Definitely it will consume CPU and memory. Without consuming CPU and memory, it will not work. First of all, understood? Somehow it is showing again. Firefox is also showing 8 instances. Okay, maybe some background processes are running. So, but the thing is, observe here. It is consuming. Firefox is consuming up to 5% CPU. I saw 5%, right? And it is consuming some RAM as well. Yes or no? However, browser-based applications are called as thin client applications because we did not, suppose, let me open some website over here. Some website, and let me go to some website. Okay. Before that, I did proxy setting for JMeter. Okay, no proxy is there. Let us visit some website like Amazon.in. Now, if you go to Firefox, it will consume more CPU. Did you observe here? More CPU and more memory. Previously, how much it is? It is up to 5. Now it went up to 12, right? After opening Amazon. And RAM, memory utilization or RAM consumption also went up from 300 to 500 plus. Observe that, please. Okay, just to avoid any confusion, so I collapsed that Firefox tree. Did you observe here? Previously, like it has shown up to 5%. Now it is showing CPU utilization as it went up to 12% once I opened Amazon. Or let me open one more, one more tab. You now see the CPU and memory utilization. It will be further more, isn't it? It went up to 20%, right? Yes or no, guys? And see the memory utilization, it went up to 700 MB. Able to understand, guys, everyone?
Yes, Pawan.
Yes, Pawan.
And also it will have network utilization as well, isn't it? It will have network utilization as well, right? Now, if I close this, if I close this Firefox, right? This process, this process should be cleared off from the task manager. Is it gone? Clear, guys? Or else, you want me to show with Zoom meeting example also. Let me show with Zoom meeting example. How much memory and CPU Zoom meeting is taking currently? Zoom client. How much it is taking here, guys? Up to 10% CPU and memory 350 plus. Isn't it? Yes or no, guys?
Yes, sir.
So, and this is a desktop application. I have installed Zoom meeting on my machine and it's a desktop application. Now, let me show you some, let me see some browser-based application of Zoom meeting. Okay. You can go to Zoom meeting URL like this, zoom.us. And you can join meeting from there as well, right? But it doesn't consume that much CPU and that much memory. Your browser-based application doesn't consume that much CPU and that much memory. If I click on join and join a meeting, understood? I cannot join here my own meeting, right? So, but if you observe here, where is my Firefox? Zoom is running in Firefox, right? Oh yeah, here it is. See, Firefox, it is taking currently 0% CPU. See here, it's not consuming much CPU, but memory it is taking. Yes. And again, if you join the Zoom meeting, then it will consume more memory also, memory as well. Understood, guys, or is it confusing? And it also occupies disk space. If you install Zoom meeting, right, it will also occupy some disk space on your machine, right? It will consume some 400 or 500 MB of disk space, isn't it? Yes or no, guys?
Yes, sir.
That's why those are called as thick client applications. So desktop applications are called as thick client applications. All browser-based applications are called as thin client applications. Clear, guys, everyone? So you should know the difference, guys. You should understand the difference because suppose in the interviewer asks you, have you ever worked on that thick client applications? Did you do performance testing of thick client applications? Right? So then you should not, ask, or you should not be puzzled like what is thick client application? Yes or no? So thick client applications, any desktop applications are called as thick client applications, whereas any browser-based applications are called as thin client applications. Clear, guys? Is it clear, guys, everyone?
Yes, clear.
Now let's move on to the next concept. Okay. So guys, we'll have assessment from 8 to 8:10, right? So because of it's raining heavily and everything is getting delayed. So we missed we had started the session late today. Please join on time, guys. Okay. And we'll have an assessment like this. Otherwise, by this time you should have understood. If you don't have daily assessment, what happens? I am explaining something and you are understanding, 50% of that. And you will be, if you need to face the interview, you may need to present, you may be able to present only 25%. Isn't it? Any new joinees, guys, before starting the, today's session? Any new joinees who joined today? Achut, I see one name, one new joinee, Achut. Achut, did you join before?
Yes. No, this is the first session.
This is your first session. Anyone else, guys, like this?
Sir, Anuradha.
Okay. Yeah, I have seen your name. Anyone else, guys? Sachamurthy? Okay, you joined yesterday, sorry. You joined yesterday, right? Yes. All right then. So let's start with performance testing life cycle. Let's understand performance testing life cycle. I think we started yesterday and I explained you RFI and RFP, isn't it? Now let me show you this RFI, one sample RFI. What is RFI, guys, by the way? Abhilash? Do you have Abhilash today? Abhilash, what is RFI? You're on mute, Abhilash, if you are speaking. Dilip, what is RFI? Abhilash, are you with us? Dilip? Guys, if someone is not responding, I'll have to remove from the meeting. I'll exclude them from the meeting. That means they are not there in front of the system. Either they are not there in front of their system or they are not focusing here.
Hello, sir.
Dilip?
Hello.
So what is RFP?
A request for info.
Request for?
Request for information. Information.
Right, request for information. What is RFP? Let me ask someone else. Khalid, what is RFP, Khalid?
Yes, sir. Request for proposal, sir.
Request for proposal, right. So what does an RFI contain, Khalid?
It contains standard quantities. Standard questionnaires in that.
Right. It contains some standard set of questions. Like, let me show you what are those standard set of questions that I explained yesterday. Right. So this is an RFI. This is an RFI floated by a client called UBC. Okay. And what is UBC? UBC stands for University of British Columbia. Okay. UBC stands for University of British Columbia. You see over here, right? University of British Columbia. So when I was working, 5 years back or 6 years back, when I was working for a service-based company, right? I have masked the service-based company because I am not supposed to disclose those details. So I have kept a placeholder here. Okay. Placeholder means any service-based company name can go here. Understood, guys? So when I was working in a service-based company, this client wanted to do performance testing for their university application, UBC, University of British Columbia. They want to do performance testing for their university website. And this is their website. They wanted to do performance testing for this website. Okay. Now, what they did is like, it is the first time that they wanted to do performance testing because whenever they upload the results, university exam results and all, they were facing some performance issues when huge number of users are trying to access the database. Then they came for performance testing. And now, it is the first time that, that they were doing performance testing. Not now, guys, like almost 7-8 years back. 7-8 years or, yeah, almost 7-8 years back. 7-8 years or 6 years back. I'm not sure exactly. Right? Now, they want, when it is the first time they do performance testing, right? First, they have floated something called RFI. They have floated something called RFI, request for information. And if you observe that, this is the document. This is the request for information document. Okay. So, and yesterday I explained, right? It contains some standard set of questions like this. See here, what portion of your business is dedicated for performance testing? Here, the client is asking the service-based company this information, some information. What portion of your business is dedicated to performance testing? How many full-time, part-time contract performance testing staff members are there at your company? What are the typical roles and responsibilities of your performance test team structure, etc., etc. They're asking some standard questions like this. And these are the questions that they were asking us, which are marked in black color. And these are our responses. This is the response, that I have given. I have responded with these, with our responses or with our information. Understood, guys? What is the average team size of performance projects? That is the question asked by them. And this is my response on behalf of that service-based company. Service-based company can be Infosys or CTS or Tech Mahindra or anything, right? So this is the response I have provided them on behalf of that service-based company. Is it clear, guys? Describe the onboarding process for performance projects, right? That is their question. And what is the number of concurrent performance projects you typically takes on? That means they are asking, they are trying to assess the service-based company's experience on performance testing. Yes or no? And they are trying to know the process as well. Describe the process on how do you resolve the issues brought up by the customers. Understood or no, guys? Guys, yes or no, guys?
Yes, sir.
Suppose you want to buy a house, you went to a builder, right? You'll ask them some questions, right? From how many years you are into this business and what are the projects, how many projects you have handled and completed till now. Yes or no? You'll ask some questions, right? Or you would like to know that information. Yes or no, guys?
Definitely.
Yeah, correct.
So in the same way, like whenever client want to give performance testing for any service-based company, they will assess them. How capable is that service-based company? How much experience they were having in performance testing, right? What is their team size? The more the team size, the more their experience would be, isn't it? So ideally, yes or no, guys? So this is a sample RFI. And like these are the responses submitted by us. Our responses are marked in blue color, light blue color. And these are the questions, their questions were marked in black color like this. Clear, guys? Now, once we respond, they will take these responses from different service-based companies, not just one service-based company. They will get responses from different service-based company. And based on, how they like the response, right? I mean, based on, they will assess or they will go through the responses, right? And they will shortlist some service-based companies. See, observe here. What type of testing do you normally perform on the performance testing projects? Please describe. And we have described what are the, when I was, I was assigned, I was given this, task to respond to that RFI. And I have responded like this. These are the different types of testing that we normally do, right? Understood, guys? And this is the process, right? What is the typical process when you are testing a performance testing framework? So based on, how elaborate or how detailed the answer is, right? Or our responses are, right? So they will, they will have some criteria like, it should be an easily understandable format to the client. or response should be easily understandable format to the client. So based on those parameters, they will, they will shortlist some service-based companies and ask them to, and then, once they shortlist, right, they will explain their application to the client, to service-based companies. Let's assume, in this case, they have shortlisted this client, this particular client has shortlisted 5 service-based companies and scheduled meeting on each day of a week with each service-based company. Monday, they gave, they scheduled appointment or they scheduled meeting with one service-based company. Tuesday, another service-based company. Wednesday, another service-based company. And they explained about their application. This is our application. This is our university application. These are the performance issues. They have shown some performance issues. They took some, they collected some screenshots and they have shown some performance issues that they are facing, that they were facing. And now, service-based company should come up with a solution. Solution means how to, how are we going to do performance testing, right? What type of testing does the application require? We have different types of testing, right? Different types of performance testing, right? So what are the different types of performance testing? Kalyan? Okay, Kalyan, I think he did not, he missed a few sessions in the beginning. Nagraj? What are the different types of performance testing, Nagraj?
Yeah. Load test, volume test, stress.
No, first is load test.
Yeah.
No, please wait. First is load test. Perfect. Then what is the second test that I asked you to mention? Is it volume test? Soak test, right? After load test, next immediate comes soak or endurance test, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you have, what are the other types of testing? Apart from
Stress,
load and soak?
volume.
Stress and spike, right?
Yeah.
Those two are next important types of testing, stress and spike testing. And then comes your volume testing, all those payload testing, etc., etc. So please follow, remember that order. First comes load test and then soak test, and then stress and spike, isn't it? You have first load test and then soak test, soak or endurance test, and then stress testing and then spike testing. Then comes volume testing, etc., etc., all other types of testing. So you need to follow this order, please. Please remember this order. You need to understand the concept. If you understand the concept, you will not forget the order, isn't it? Now we need to suggest, like a client will be expecting what type of testing does their application require, isn't it? What type of testing does their application require, and why does the, why do we require that type of testing? So we will provide that in the RFP document or solution document. Okay. Request for proposal or solution document. So not only that, you will contain what is the team structure required, how many team members are required for, completing that project, and how much duration is required, and what are the billing rates, for each resource, right? Let's say, for example, you have to propose the team structure also. For instance, this project requires one team lead and 2 senior software engineers and 2 junior software engineers or associate software engineers, right? You need to propose the team structure, and this project request, it will take at least 4 months to complete the project. I'm just giving some examples. Need not be exactly 4 months, right? So and also not only that, we will provide the billing rates also. Billing rates means how much we are going to charge per resource. Let's say, for instance, for team lead, it may be somewhere around $50 per hour, right? So we'll charge the client in, like dollars. Yes or no? And how much? It will be above $50 per hour. Understand, guys? $50 per hour. So per day, we'll be charging how much? We'll consider 8 hours or 8 working hours, and we will charge, service-based companies charge this much, $400 per hour minimum for a team lead. And for this guy, for SSCs, they may charge slightly less. Let's say some $40 per hour. Per hour. Sorry, this is per day. Sorry. This is per day. Right? So that means another, how much is this? $40 means, see, $40 means how much is it? How much it comes to?
8 hours.
8 hours, 8 4 32, right? So $320, right? And for junior software engineers, maybe they charge some $25 per hour, right? So it comes to 825, that is 200, isn't it? $200 per day. So we'll provide these billing rates, right? We'll provide these billing rates. And again, there are two types of pricing models. There will be two types of pricing models. Two types. One is fixed bid. The other one is time and material, T&M anta. We call that as T&M. Fixed bid means no matter how many resources you deploy, and whatever the number of resources may be, we will propose some fixed amount. Let's say some $5,000 or $50,000, right? $50,000 would be the fixed bid for completing the project, this 4 months project, or whatever the client requirement is. T&M means, hold on. Yeah, T&M means time and material, right? Time and material means how many resources we are giving. Based on each resource, we will be charging hourly. We will quote some hourly rate, and then we will calculate, how many hours each of these team members worked, and based on that, the amount, the cost of the project varies. Understood, guys? So suppose you gave some building contract, you want to get some building constructed, and you want to give it to a contractor, right? So he will also propose something, right? He will propose that it will cost for you 50 lakhs. That is one way. Let's say the construction cost would be 50 lakhs for the complete building. Or else he will propose another thing also. I will provide you, like, I will supply you the labor. Please pay me this much per day, 1,000 rupees. Yes or no, guys? Yes or no? There will be different types of pricing models. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever involve anywhere? Did you hear this anytime, at least? Daily labor are taking 1,000 rupees per day in India, right? Isn't it? So if
Yes.
suppose today, like 5 persons came, you have to pay 5,000 to them, isn't it? Tomorrow, if 4 people came, right? So you will pay 4,000. Or let's say day after tomorrow they took a off, and there is no one who are into work. So you need not pay anything, obviously, for that. Yes or no? Again, at the same time, suppose they will charge, there will be some in the contracted team, there will be one person who will be working as head, right? Mesri and all. Yes or no? Telugulo.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no, guys? He will be charging more, right? For example, daily labor key, if it is 1,000 rupees, he will ask, my amount is 1,500 per day. Yes or no, guys? So based on their experience and based on their capability, they will charge it. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
The same way here also, like, we will have different billing rates for each resource. For team lead or project lead, suppose if there is architect involved here, we need an architect here. So his billing rate will be more than that, $100 per hour. But he will not be involved throughout the project. How many hours he was involved, he will be charged according to that. Isn't it? Right? And how much we get, guys, as salary per day? How much we get per day as salary out of this?
$8 per hour.
Some 5,000 per day, right? Suppose you got it. Suppose you are joined as an associate software engineer, right? So my students are getting like 10 lakhs minimum per year. 10 lakhs, let's say 12 lakhs per month. It is 1 lakh, right? They're getting a package of around 10 to 15 lakhs actually. After training, they're getting a package of 10 to 15 lakhs. Let's take average package as 12 lakhs. So 1 lakh per month. And 30 days by 1 lakh by 30 days. How much is that? Per day, 3,000. Isn't it? How much they are charging from the client? $200 per day. And how much if you convert into rupees? $200 into rupees. How much is that approximately? What is the dollar rate today?
82.
82? 82, perfect.
Around 16,000.
How much is it? 16,400, right? Where does the rest of the money goes? Where does the rest of the money goes, guys?
Company.
Obviously it will go to the company, right? So not only, so they have to provide you some desk, they have to provide you lunch, etc., right? There will be some expenses also, right? Per employee, per head, there will be some expenses per head, right? The remaining would be the company's profit, right? That is how, the companies will be able to survive, isn't it? And moreover, even though when you are not in a project, right, they have to pay you, isn't it? That is another important burden on the organization, right? Suppose, if they don't have any projects also, they cannot say that we won't pay you because we don't have any project. You are not getting any billing. No, that's not the case, right? Isn't it? And this is how, these projects and all this work, right? So now client will get this quotation from different companies. Can we call this as a quotation? Right? These billing rates and all. So, and they will, based on their budget, they will see like, which one fits their budget, which quotation requires their, their requirement, right? And they will award the project to one of the service-based company. Now, once service-based company gets a project, then they will start with requirement gathering again in detail. Okay. So in RFP phase, what happens is, they will first explain about the application at a high level. They will explain about their application, and these are the performance issues that we are facing. We want these to be fixed or identified and fixed, right? Can you come up with a solution? Now, service-based company will submit a solution, has to submit a solution. What solution? What does the solution document contain? What is the requirement? What is the solution that the service-based company is proposing? What types of testing we have to do? What is in scope? What is out of scope, right? We are going to do only performance testing. We are not going to do functional testing, security testing, and all those. We will clearly mention that in the proposal. Understood, guys? And how many resources would be required, and when will we start the project, and duration, basically how many months it will take, right? All that information will be sent in the solution document. Now client will shortlist one of the solutions from received by them to whomsoever they like, right? They will have some interactions with the team, with the different service-based companies, right? And they will give that project to one of the service-based company. Just like you want to buy a jewelry and you take quotation from different jewelry shops. Yes or no? If you want to buy a jewelry, or if you want to buy a house, right? So you'll visit different, suppose if you want to buy a jewelry, right? You'll visit multiple, jewelry shops, and you will take quotations, if possible, you will try to get some quotation from them. And you'll see what are the, wastage charges, what are the, what is the rate per gram, isn't it? And which design you like, based on that, you will. Guys, am I audible, guys? Seems like there is a power outage. Okay, sorry guys, there is a power outage and I have joined through mobile data. Okay, is my voice okay, or is it breaking? Am I audible, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
You're audible.
Okay, please let me know
Yes,
if
Pa.
my voice is breaking. I have connected through mobile data now. Okay, so please let me know. We'll have a generator backup. Generator should be started. So please bear with me till then if there is some power outage. All right. So based on so suppose if you want to buy a house as well, right? You will you will take quotation from multiple builders, right? You will make inquiry with multiple contractors, and you will give it to someone who within your budget, and someone whom you like. Yes or no? Or compatible, whomsoever you feel compatible with you. Yes or no, guys?
Yes, sir.
right? So
Yes,
in the
sir.
same way, that client will award the project to one of the service-based companies, right? And once the project is awarded, once a service-based company gets a project, right? Now the next phases will be started. What are the next phases? Requirement gathering will start. Non-functional requirement gathering will start, right? What is this non-functional requirement gathering?
For performance.
Right. So performance testing is also called as non-functional testing, isn't it? Performance testing is also called as non-functional testing. What is meant by requirement gathering? We'll discuss that in the coming up session. So in the coming up session, maybe tomorrow's session we'll discuss that. We have a whole list of requirements, different requirements. We'll discuss that in the tomorrow's session. Today I will complete a high-level overview of the performance testing life cycle. So entire team will be involved in this requirement gathering phase, and they will collect all the requirements in detail. Now, once they collect the requirements, they may also do a POC, proof of concept. They will, they will get the business flows of the application. We discussed in the initial sessions, right? We need to get what are the critical business flows of the application. What is meant by critical business flows? See, these are the non-functional requirements, right? So if it is a net banking application, these would be the critical business flows for the application. Or if it is an e-commerce application, these would be the critical business flows. We already discussed this in the last sessions, isn't it? Please, those who joined late, guys, so please go through the batch tracker. I already shared the batch tracker. So please go through the batch tracker where I'm maintaining like which concept is covered on which day, isn't it? So and go to the playlist URL and refer to that video, corresponding video. Right? This is July 2023 batch playlist URL, as you see here, right? Till now there are 8 videos, I think, which are uploaded to this, right? So please, please go through please map it with please check in the batch tracker and see which concept is covered on which day, and please go through that concept. Clear, guys? Those who missed the initial sessions. Now, and all these are basics or fundamentals concepts you can easily understand and you can easily follow by going through the recorded sessions. Okay. Once we start the tool, then I will not admit anyone into the batch. I cannot admit anyone into the batch once we start the JMeter tool, right? But till then, like you can go through the recorded sessions and you can patch up with everyone in the batch. Clear, guys? And you have a weekend time. Today is Friday, right? Saturday also we'll have a session. So you have those who joined today. You have today, tomorrow, and after tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to complete the recorded sessions. If you are interested to continue in this batch. Clear, guys? So take this time of 3 days and go through all the recorded sessions in the playlist URL, right? Each one will be hardly 40 to 50 minutes. So please complete them by this weekend so that you will be on the same page by Monday, from Monday onwards. Clear, guys? And now, so once we collect the requirements, right? So we'll do a POC. What is meant by POC? What is meant by proof of concept? Is we will ask, in the requirement gathering phase, we will ask what are the critical business flows of the application, right? And we will record one script and see whether, which tool is suitable for that application. Which performance testing tool is suitable for their requirement and what is the budget. So all those will be discussed, of course. All those will be discussed in the RFP phase itself. Whether we have to go for a licensed tools or open source tools, that will be decided in the RFP phase itself. Suppose if client asks you to use some open source tool, okay. If client asks you to go for open source tool, and you have to agree. Like, I mean, you should have resources. You should the tool should support that application. There will be a number of factors, right? Now in open source tools, there are multiple open source tools, right? Of course, JMeter is very popular performance open source tool for performance testing. But apart from JMeter, there are a lot of open source tools in the market, right? So there are a couple of other open source tools like Gatling, Locust, Grinder, Artillery. There are a lot of open source tools in the market for performance testing. Artillery is a new tool. Artillery K6 are new into the market, which are gaining some market share slowly, right? Hold on, yes, I got a power backup. Let me switch to Wi-Fi router, okay? I'm connected to Wi-Fi now. There should not be any any network lags now. Right. So apart from JMeter, so JMeter is one of the open source, major open source tool, prominent open source tool, right? Which has more market share. Around it is having around 30 to 40% of the market share. However, apart from JMeter, there are a couple of other open source tools as well. Okay. Let me show you, what are the other open source tools. I have mentioned few of them, right? Locust, Grinder, Gatling, etc., etc. Isn't it? These are the other open source performance testing tools. If client is asking to use some open source tool, so if we have, if JMeter is able to record, we have to check whether JMeter supports that application or not, first of all. Understood, guys? JMeter is a good tool for web-based applications, but it will not work for all different types of applications. We already discussed it, right? We discussed about, there will be desktop applications, there will be mobile applications, right? We have to check whether the application can be tested with JMeter or not. That is called as proof of concept. That is what we do in this POC phase. Able to follow, guys? Or any queries? I'll take a pause here. Any queries? Guys, please respond. Otherwise, I'll take your silence as no queries. Guys, am I audible first of all?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, fine.
So we'll do a proof of concept. Proof of concept means we will record 1 or 2 scripts and see whether we are able to generate the script and we are able to complete the script with JMeter, right? Because if client opts for open source tools, and if you have resources on JMeter, right? Again, we should have resources on JMeter, right? In the organization, in the service-based company, free resources should be there, isn't it?
Yes, Pawan.
Right? So we will do a POC, and based on the proof of concept, we will prepare a test plan document. We'll prepare a test plan document. What, see guys, first important interview question is, can you explain the performance testing life cycle? Then you will say like, this is the performance testing life cycle. It starts with RFI, RFP, and then it starts with requirement gathering, proof of concept, test plan, etc., etc. Now, when I say test plan, they will ask you, what does a test plan document contain? What does a test plan document contain? Okay, I'll show you some sample test plan document as well now. I will show you some simple test plan document as well as some, elaborated test plan document. Okay, I have some, wait, hold on. So I will share these handouts to you in the next 1 or 2 weeks. But let me show you some, performance testing handouts that everyone will get once you confirm your joining. So these are simple test plan document, guys. Let me show you how does a test plan document look like and what does it contain. This is a simple test plan document. I'll show you some elaborated test plan document also. So there will be some detailed test plan document also, which will be having 30 to 40 pages, right? I'll show both of them. I'll show, you can use as per your requirement. Performance test plan. Okay, I think this is the, okay, I'll show it later. Okay, for today, let me show you a simple test plan document. Okay, so what does a test plan document contain? Observe here, introduction. What is the purpose of, in the introduction section, or, we will explain, see, read this introduction. This document includes the plan for performance testing of the application. Here we will mention the project name, developed by so and so company, right? Or owned by so and so company, right? And it describes the test process, procedures, methodology, and configuration that will be used for performance testing activity, right? Now, a lot of the participants, will have a query. Any queries in your mind, guys? I am asking you to put forward your questions. At least, do you have any queries now? Who will work on this test plan document? You don't have such queries?
Yeah, Pawan.
Yes, I have.
You should have those. You should ask those, right? You should ask those, right? So generally, so beginners, particularly beginners, some beginners will be worried now. Do we need to do all this? Do we need to prepare test plan document? I thought, oh no, it would be only scripting or only test executions, isn't it? Or do I need to work on RFI, RFPs and all this? How do I get all that information? Isn't it? So generally team lead or project lead will be working on this test plan document. No need to worry. Okay. They will not ask you to prepare test plan document. They may not ask you, okay, to prepare the test plan document. Then why are we discussing this? Is for interview purpose. So you should know the process. Understood, guys? You should know the performance testing life cycle, and you should know in detail about each phase in the performance testing life cycle. That's why we are discussing this. Understood, guys? Otherwise, this RFI, RFP, requirement gathering, all this will be done by senior team members at least, or team leads. All these will be done by senior team members or team leads. Understood, guys? This proof of concept, test plan, preparing a test plan, effort estimates, all these will be done by senior engineers, senior software engineers, or senior performance engineers. And you will be involved from scripting phase. Junior resources, beginners will be, or someone who is having 2 to 3 years experience or who joined as freshers, they will be involved from scripting phase. Understood, guys? You need not worry about all this, because this requires some experience. This will be done by experienced people. And once all that is done, of course, you also require experience in scripting, right? So that is why you are here, right? That's why you joined the training, isn't it? So you will be asked to do from scripting. You will be asked to get involved from scripting onwards. Clear, guys? Scripting and executions and all this. But you should know the process, like, what is the life cycle of a project, and who is responsible for each task and all. You should have a clear idea. Understood, guys? Now, any queries? Understood or no, guys? So this will be taken care by your senior team members, right? Because they are taking more packages, right? Obviously, they will be having more experience. They are taking more packages. They will be taking more salary than you, right? So they will take care of that. No need to worry about that. So your team lead or SSCs will be taking care of that. Any queries now? Guys, please don't keep quiet.
No,
Yeah,
no.
No queries? All right. So once you prepare a test plan document, right? Once your team lead or your SSC senior engineer, senior team member prepares a test plan document, or a project lead may be preparing, right? Your project lead or manager may be preparing in some cases, and they need to send the test plan document to the client for sign off. They should send the document to the client for sign off, means approval. Okay. This is what we are going to do. Let me show you the test plan document. Let me explain the test plan document. Here we will keep the application architecture diagram. This is a placeholder. That means you will keep the application architecture diagram. And yesterday we discussed what is meant by an architecture diagram, right? Isn't it? Client will give you what is the architecture diagram of their application, and we will keep that application architecture diagram over here. And what is the purpose of this performance testing activity? The next section will explain what is the purpose of this performance testing activity, what are the business flows, critical business flows, and what is the web server, what is the app server, what is the database server. We'll provide all these details over here. Understood, guys? And what is in scope and what is out of scope. What is in scope and what is out of scope, and what are the deliverables in each phase. Understood? What are the deliverables in each phase? Means in the discovery and planning phase, we will share these documents to the client. And in the test development phase, we will share once we develop the scripts, right? We are supposed to share the scripts to the client, performance testing scripts to the client. Okay. So we will mention what are the deliverables in each phase. And once, in the execution phase, we will share the test summary report, test execution report, right? So these are the deliverables in each phase. Understood, guys? In each phase, these are the deliverables that we are supposed to share it to the client. Clear, guys? And this is the execution process. This is the test execution process. First, we will identify the test environment, identify the performance targets, create the workload model, set up and configure the test environment, and then customize the test scripts, do the scripting and customize the test scripts, execute the test, analyze and report the test, and tune the application. So this is the typical test execution process of performance testing. And so this would be the plan for executing, for completing that, for doing performance testing for that project. So that is nothing but your performance test plan. And once we prepare a test plan document like this, we need to fill the client details, guys. Okay, this is just a template that I am showing you. We need to fill the client details over here. All right. And once we prepare a test plan document like this, we will share the test plan document to the client for their approval. Right? Approval means client should agree on over email saying that yes, we are good with this test plan, or else he may suggest some changes. No, this is what I'm expecting. This is what I want, right? And they should come back and say that, either they have to approve or they have to suggest some modifications. Understood, guys? I'll explain in detail, once we complete scripting, right? We'll discuss this again. We will revisit this test plan document, right? Why should we get approval from the client? From the client is, once the project is completed, they should not say that, no, this is not what we want. Right? Suppose, you completed the project and you asked for the billing, you asked for the payment, right? So they will not do it at immediate, beforehand. They will not, make the payment beforehand. So they will be having some payment structure. Initially, we'll pay 25%, and then after 1 quarter, we'll pay some amount, something like that. Now, once you complete the project and if you ask for the final payment, client should not say that, this is not what I expected. Yes or no? And I'm not going to pay. Obviously, if it is not done as per the expectations, he will not clear the payment, pending payment, isn't it? So we should get guys are able to follow.
Yes.
Yes.
So we should get a formal approval from the client saying that, yes, this is what we are expecting. Okay. If anything is done beyond this, suppose, once the project is started, if anything is done beyond this test plan, we can charge them. So this, there will be some additional amount you have to pay to achieve that, right? But we should have a formal approval from the client, and that is called as sign off. We should get a sign off from the client in the form of an email. So tomorrow he cannot say that, this is not what I expected, because he signed that, he approved over an email. Clear, guys? And once we get a sign off, also effort estimates also will be provided as part of the test plan document itself. So once we get a sign off from the client, then we will start scripting. Okay. Then we will start scripting, script execution, setting up test environment, executing different types of tests, preparing reports and all this. Right? And these are the typical phases in any performance testing life cycle. I'll stop it here for today. We'll continue tomorrow, guys. Okay. I'm passing recording. Any queries, guys, before we pass recording? Let me pass. Can you please repeat your question?
During the interview process, with the 2-3 years of experience, or just with the 1 or 2 years of experience, do they expect the brief description of all these kinds of documents from the candidate?
Yes, you should have a overview of this. You should know what is a test plan document. You should know what is requirement gathering, what is meant by NFR gathering, and you should know at least what is effort estimates. You may not be doing effort estimates, but you should know what is test plan document and all this at a high level at least. They will ask you what is can you explain the performance testing life cycle?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any other queries, guys? Okay, if you don't have any, guys, please respond. So any other queries, say yes or no, please. Okay, I'm taking your silence as no. I'm pausing the recording, guys. Those who are watching this, watching this demo session on my YouTube channel, so please contact on this WhatsApp number for enrollment. So we have, few seats left, very few seats left, because, we are planning to start classroom training as well. That's why we have some vacant seats now. Some of those who are joining online, they are opting to switch to classroom training. So in that way, we got some few seats available now. So please, please contact on my WhatsApp number if you want to enroll for this training and join the live training, guys. Live training either online or offline, right? Offline, we are planning to start it in Hyderabad. So please, contact immediately as soon as possible, because, from once we complete this demo sessions this week, by end of this week, and once we start the tool, So we cannot admit anyone into the batch unless until you are already working on performance testing. And thanks for joining us, and thanks for watching, and have a nice day.
Yep.